Welcome to the Reality Revolution. Let me ask you an important question. How much money do you want? It's that simple. How much? Of course, many of you will say $1 billion. But do you really mean this? How much money do you believe you are entitled to? How much money do you believe you can handle? These questions lead to the real problems that keep most people from enjoying a more comfortable existence. They believe that privation is their lot in life, so they feel guilty if they ask for enough to relieve their privation. The Creator gave them the ability to bring into their lives all of the wonderful things needed for living an expanded life, but they are afraid to use it. Why? Here's the real underlying cause of want in a world of plenty. On all sides, we hear that those who have must give up a large share of their money to provide for those who haven't created it for themselves. But this is not the answer. It is indeed blessed to give, but how much? Should those who haven't learned how to provide for themselves be taught how? It is time for us to start using the fantastic creative power that we were given in the beginning. The only difference between the haves and the have-nots is that the haves know how to bring wealth into their lives. Now you can join this group, but first, you must rid yourself of your sense of limitation. So many people believe that it is not spiritual to want money. I get a lot of questions why I've been focusing primarily on prosperity and money in my recent videos. And after recording 2,000 videos, I came to the realization that at the very crux of what's going on spiritually in our country, money is at the core of it. And in order for us to walk the bridge between where we're at right now into the new earth, we must come to grips with money. It is there for our survival. It is energy. It is creation. If you limit it, why are you limiting it? So I ask you again, how much money do you want? I constantly get messages from people saying, I only want enough money to pay my bills and help others. Then their messages usually go on to tell me how badly off they are financially. But they say nothing about wanting to improve their lives. The whole tone of their message tells me how miserable they are. Yet they do not ask how they can improve it. Why? They are afraid to. Why should anybody be afraid to want to better their lot in life? The answer to this is that they have been conditioned by others to believe that to want money is wrong. So whenever the time comes for them to ask for more money, they suffer from a guilt complex. So they reduce their request to the point where they will get very little benefit from what they do receive. Cosmic law says you can only receive what you believe you can receive. And I will cover this more in a little bit. But that means you have two choices in setting the sum of money you wish to receive. You can either change your belief about how much can come to you, or you can limit the amount to fit your belief. How much simpler is it to change your belief and raise your ceiling to the sky? God did not create this wonderful world of ours only to deny its benefits to His children. The Creator gave you the power to create and receive this vast abundance of wealth. Accept it as your God-given right. It is not wrong to desire and attain vast wealth for yourself. The real error lies in not using your wonderful creative mind that was given to you so that you could create the kind of world for yourself that you truly desire. So search your inner feelings. Is there any reluctance to ask for the amount of money you would really like to have? If there is, talk to yourself about this. Realize that the world is yours if you have the courage to reach out and take your share. There is enough to go around. Have you ever wondered why the wealth of the world has never been evenly distributed? Even if you were to divide up the world's goods evenly between all people, it wouldn't be long before most of it would be in the hands of the same people it had been taken away from. This is because those people have a wealth consciousness. They draw money to them as a magnet draws iron filings. So open up your own doorway so that wealth may enter. By all means, don't fear some shadowy retribution if wealth should come. Now you're ready to decide how much money you want. When you set your sum, do not set it higher than you can honestly believe can come to you. You probably have a lifetime of conditioning behind you that has set a certain ceiling on your notion of your monetary worth. Start with a believable amount. When this comes, you can raise the amount somewhat over time. I'm reminded of a story to illustrate the principles of not rising above what you can believe in. There was an insurance salesman who had a mediocre territory. Since he was a good salesman, he was able to average $60,000 a year out of it. His insurance company decided to move him to a much better territory as a reward for his perseverance. After a couple of years, they noted that he still averaged $60,000 a year. The company was disappointed and decided to relegate him to an extremely undesirable area. Much to their surprise, the salesman was able to average $60,000 a year from that territory. The story illustrates the result of putting a ceiling on your capacity to bring in money. So get rid of those feelings of inadequacy. You are as powerful as anyone in the world. With the help of this episode, you can raise yourself to any height you can visualize. There's no limitation except that which you impose upon yourself. You will be shown how to amplify these forces and direct them to your goal. Whatever you can visualize will come to you. It doesn't matter how much, as long as you can believe you deserve it. So cast off those self-imposed shackles, and let's change your life to one of abundance and good fortune. Remember, the sky is the limit. So imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your bank account, and seeing an amount that makes your heart skip a beat. Not because you're overdrawn, but because there's more money than you've ever seen before. What would that number be? What is the amount that would change everything for you? $1,000? $10,000? $100,000? $1 million? $10 million? Hold that thought, because that question, how much money do you want, is deceptively simple, yet profoundly revealing, and your answer to it might be the very thing holding you back from abundance that you deserve. We're going to transform your relationship with money forever. By the time we're done, you'll understand why you haven't attracted the wealth you want. You'll know precisely how much money to ask the universe for, and most importantly, you'll have removed the unconscious blocks that have been limiting your financial ceiling. This isn't about get-rich-quick schemes or magical thinking. It's about aligning your consciousness with universal principles that govern abundance. What I'm about to share has helped thousands of people dramatically increase their income and financial well-being, sometimes within days of this realization. When I work with clients one-on-one and ask them, how much money do you want? I get the same responses time and again: as much as possible, enough to be comfortable. I just want financial freedom. Whatever the universe thinks is right for me. Does that sound familiar? I hear these vague answers constantly, but here's what's fascinating and what most manifestation teachers never tell you. These imprecise answers actually create imprecise results. When I dig deeper with these same people, I discover something remarkable. They're afraid to name a specific number. They feel guilty asking for too much. They worry about appearing greedy or unspiritual, or deep down, they don't believe they could actually handle large sums of money. I remember clearly when I faced this question myself years ago. I was struggling financially, barely making rent each month. My mentor at the time asked me point blank, "Brian, how much money do you want to make per year?" And I gave the standard answer, enough to comfortably pay my bills and not worry about things. And he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "That's why you're broke. The universe can't deliver a vague order. Give me a number." I hesitated, feeling that familiar discomfort rise, and finally I blurted out $100,000 a year, which felt ambitious given my circumstances. He laughed and said, "Why so little? Why not $300,000? That question stunned me. I realized I didn't believe I could make $300,000. My ceiling was lower than I thought. Within 6 months of addressing the belief, visualizing it, and setting a specific target, I had surpassed the $100,000 mark. And 2 years later, I crossed the $300,000 mark. And now I know exactly why that transformation happened. So let me ask you again. How much money do you want? Your answer reveals everything about your relationship with abundance. Are you being realistic? Do you believe that you can receive this? So why do we give these vague answers when asked about money? As much as possible, enough to be comfortable, financial freedom. These sound reasonable, right? But here's the cosmic truth. The universe doesn't respond to vague requests. It responds to precise signals. Think about it like placing an order at a restaurant. If you told the server, "I want the best food possible," they'd be confused. What exactly does that mean? The spiciest? The most expensive? The healthiest? When you say, "I want as much money as possible," the universe, or more specifically your subconscious mind, has no clarity on what to manifest. Is as much as possible $1,000, $1 million, $1 billion? Without specificity, your mind focuses on your current reality instead, because that's what's clear and believable to you. This is why most manifestation attempts fail, not because manifestation isn't real, but because the signals we're sending are too fuzzy for our internal manifestation mechanism to lock onto. I'm not saying that you need to be exact every time, but you need a general range in most cases. There's something deeper happening here. When I push people to give me a specific number, they get uncomfortable. And that discomfort is revealing your financial ceiling. The maximum amount of money you believe you can have was programmed into your being long before you started consciously thinking about wealth. It was shaped by comments your parents made about rich people, your early experiences with money, cultural messages about wealth and spirituality, your observations of what people like you typically earn, and stories you've internalized about what you're capable of. Let me ask you something profound. When you imagine your bank account with a specific amount in it, at what number does it start to feel unrealistic? Is it $50,000, $500,000, $5 million, $5 billion? That number where you think, that could never happen for me. That's your financial ceiling. That's the invisible barrier created by your belief system. That is your thermostat that you've set for yourself. And here's the critical truth. No manifestation technique in the world will bring you more money than you believe you can receive. For many of you watching, there's another layer to this, a deep-seated guilt about wanting money at all. Believe me, I know. Look at the comments to this video and all the money videos I do. There's always someone that will make a comment about this. It's wrong to manifest money. It's wrong to talk about money like I do. How dare I talk about money? You're not being spiritual, Brian. I've worked with spiritual seekers who believe that desiring wealth is somehow impure, that money is lower vibrational, that true spirituality means detachment from material things. Many feel guilty because they look at suffering in the world and think, who am I to have abundance when others have so little? When they see people struggling, they feel guilty about their own abundance. Still others carry the programming that says, money is the root of all evil. A misquote that has done more damage to people's prosperity than almost any other phrase. Let me be absolutely clear. Money is neutral energy. It's a tool for expression, creation, and impact. The most spiritually evolved people I know are also financially abundant because they understand that money simply amplifies who you already are. If you're compassionate, more money makes you more compassionate on a larger scale. If you're generous, more money makes you more generous. Money doesn't corrupt, it reveals and amplifies. And the universe, which has created stars, galaxies, and infinite abundance, doesn't judge you for wanting a piece of that abundance in the form of money. And if you still believe that the universe is judging you for the amount of money you want, tell me why. Where is this coming from? Where did you learn it? This brings us to perhaps the most critical question. Do you believe you're entitled to wealth? Many people struggle with this idea of deserving money. They think they haven't worked hard enough, aren't smart enough, or haven't contributed enough to deserve true abundance. But here's the paradigm shift that changed everything for me. Money isn't about deserving, it's about alignment. The question isn't, do I deserve money? The question is, am I in alignment with money's natural flow? Think of it like this. The sun doesn't shine on you because you deserve it. It shines because you're positioned in its light. Wealth works the same way. It's not about moral worthiness. It's about positioning yourself in the flow of abundance through your consciousness. This means believing precisely what's possible for you, taking aligned action, being open to receive, valuing yourself and your contribution appropriately. When you're in alignment with these principles, money flows to you as naturally as water flows downhill. It's not about deserving, it's about removing the barriers between you and what already wants to come to you. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself checking your accounts. You see a balance. What number appears there that makes you think, yes, this feels right for me. This feels possible. Now increase that number. Double it. How does that feel? Does that feel still comfortable? Still believable? Then double it again. And again. At some point, you'll hit a number that causes resistance. You might feel a tightening in your chest, a voice saying, that's not possible for me. A feeling of anxiety or even disbelief. This is why visualization is important in manifesting money. If you see it enough, and it feels real enough, and you can believe it enough, then you can have it. And a lot of times, people simply cannot believe they have not visualized it properly. In most cases, they have never put themselves in a position where they could see themselves having that kind of money. That reaction that you had, that resistance, is your current money ceiling. It's the limit of what your subconscious currently allows as possible for you. And until we address that ceiling, all the manifestation techniques in the world won't bring you more than that amount. I teach about large sums of money often, and the question is, what is a large sum of money for you? Is it 100,000? Is it 1,000,000? Everybody has a different response. And so you need to start asking yourself, how much money do I want? Now open your eyes. That ceiling you just identified, it wasn't placed there by the universe, it was placed there by you. And what you've placed, you can remove. There's a fundamental principle governing prosperity. We can call it the cosmic law of reception. It states simply, you can only receive what you believe you can receive. Notice I didn't say you can only receive what you want to receive, or what you hope to receive, or what you pray to receive. The cosmic filter isn't your desires, it's your beliefs. Think about this principle as a filtration system for abundance. The universe is constantly sending unlimited opportunities, connections, and prosperity your way, but your belief system determines how much flows through to your reality. If your belief ceiling says you can make $75,000 a year, then even if $1 million opportunity appeared right now, you will fail to recognize it, sabotage it unconsciously, or transform it into something that fits within your $75,000 belief system. This is why some people can lose fortunes and rebuild them rapidly, while others win the lottery and end up broke within years. It's not about the money itself, it's about your reception capacity. All of my activations will never work if you cannot believe in them. And so I'm dedicating this episode to this because I want my activations to work for you. Your belief system is creating an invisible ceiling that no amount of external abundance can override, no matter how much we've activated. This principle isn't new. It appears throughout human wisdom, across cultures, and throughout history. In ancient Hindu teachings, we find the concept of samskara, mental impressions that shape what we can perceive and receive in life. In Christianity, Jesus taught, "According to your faith, be it unto you," speaking directly to the principle of belief determining reception. In Buddhism, the concept of bhavana, or mental cultivation, recognizes that what manifests in our lives flows directly from the conditions of our minds. The Hermetic principle, as above, so below, as within, so without, captures this exact law. Your inner belief landscape creates your outer reality. And that's all well and good. You hear me say it all the time, right? It's a cliche, but it's true. Indigenous wisdom traditions worldwide share a common understanding that our relationship with abundance is determined by our relationship with ourselves and our belief in what's possible. This isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a recurring observation about how reality functions, rediscovered by every culture that has deeply examined the nature of prosperity. Modern science is catching up to what mystics have known for millennia. Research in neuroplasticity shows that our brains physically restructure themselves based on what we deeply believe. Studies on the placebo effect reveal our beliefs can create measurable physical changes, from pain reduction to actual physiological healing simply through conviction. In behavioral economics, researchers have documented how our unconscious beliefs about money directly impact our financial decisions, creating self-fulfilling prophecies that either expand or limit our prosperity. Dr. Carol Dweck's groundbreaking research on mindset demonstrates that people who believe their abilities can grow, a growth mindset, consistently outperform those with fixed beliefs about their potential. The emerging field of psychoneuroimmunology has demonstrated how our beliefs affect not just our mental state, but our physical health at the cellular level. This is not mystical thinking. It's observable reality. Your beliefs aren't just thoughts. They're instructions to your nervous system, your behavior patterns, and ultimately to the quantum field around you about what you can and cannot experience. So here's where you stand at a critical decision point. Since the law of reception is operational whether you acknowledge it or not, you have two choices. Option 1, change your belief about how much money can come to you, raise your ceiling, expand your reception capacity, or option 2, limit the amount of money you ask for to fit your current belief system. Most people unconsciously choose option 2. They sense their money ceiling and then set goals just beneath it, ensuring they never have to confront the discomfort of expanding their beliefs. But here's what they don't realize. Option 2 is a prescription for stagnation, because your beliefs will never expand if you always play it safe beneath them. Option 1, consciously working to raise your belief ceiling, is the path of growth. It's uncomfortable. It requires confronting limiting beliefs installed decades ago. But it's the only path to expanding what's possible for you financially. Here's the good news. You don't have to make a quantum leap from believing in $50,000 to believe in $50 million. You just need to stretch your belief ceiling enough that it creates some healthy tension, some excitement mixed with a bit of, can I really do this? Let me share something unexpected that happened to me that perfectly illustrates this principle. Years ago, I was hiking in the mountains when I came across an eagle rescue center. They had this magnificent golden eagle with a 7-foot wingspan in a cage that was only 8 feet wide. The caretaker explained that this eagle had been rescued after being illegally kept as a pet in a small cage for years. They were rehabilitating it to release it back into the wild. But here was the heartbreaking part. Even though they had moved it to progressively larger enclosures, this eagle refused to spread its wings fully. Years of confinement had convinced it that extending its wings would result in pain from hitting the cage walls. Even when there was plenty of room, the eagle's belief about what was possible kept its wings partially folded. Its flight capacity was physically undiminished, but its belief ceiling kept it earthbound. That eagle is us. Many of us have been financially and psychologically caged by limiting beliefs installed in childhood. And even when those external limitations are gone, we continue to live as if the cage walls are still there. The difference is, unlike that eagle, you have the conscious ability to recognize the invisible cage of your beliefs and deliberately expand beyond it. Let's talk about why specificity matters so profoundly in manifestation. Your subconscious mind doesn't process vague concepts well. It responds to precision. When you say, I want financial freedom, your subconscious has no concrete target to aim for. Napoleon Hill discusses this in his book, Think and Grow Rich, when he advises setting a specific goal. Now, for a long time, I struggled whether or not I should teach going for specific goals, and I have had some success in working in ranges of income. But the more I have started to coach others around this concept, the more I believe that being specific matters. Think about it like programming a GPS. If you say, take me somewhere nice, it can't function. But you input exact coordinates, it calculates the perfect route to get you there. Your subconscious works the same way. It needs exact coordinates for your financial destination. This is why nearly every major success study confirms that people who set specific, measurable goals dramatically outperform those with vague aspirations. Your brain is literally designed to solve problems and find pathways, but only when given precise endpoints. When you declare, I want to generate $120,000 this year, something remarkable happens. Your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, begins to notice opportunities related to that specific goal that were always there but previously invisible to you. A vague goal creates vague results. A specific goal creates specific results. It's that simple and that profound. Now, here's where most manifestation teachers lead you astray. They'll tell you to think big and set goals like becoming a billionaire overnight. And while I'm all for expansive thinking, and I have a billionaire activation on my channel, there's a critical factor they're missing, the believability threshold, and that's what I wanted to address here. I believe that we can change your mindset to believe that you can have billions. I believe it. I do. But we have to start somewhere. Your conscious mind might entertain the idea of making $1 billion, but your subconscious, which runs the show behind the scenes, will reject any goal it deems completely implausible based on your current belief system. If you say that you can fly, that's great, and you can envision yourself flying, but your subconscious will say, no, you can't fly. You have to believe to receive. When your conscious and subconscious minds are in conflict, the subconscious always wins. Always. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. You'll burn a lot of energy to make a little progress. This is why some affirmations often fail. Telling yourself, I am a billionaire, when you're struggling to pay rent creates cognitive dissonance that your mind resolves by rejecting the affirmation entirely. What works is setting a target that exists in the zone of proximal development, a goal just beyond your comfort zone, but not so far that it seems impossible. This creates healthy tension rather than disbelief. For someone making $50,000 a year, a goal of $75,000 might create that perfect tension. For someone already making $200,000, it might take $1 million goal to create the same effect. The key is finding your personal stretch point, where your goal feels exciting and slightly nerve-wracking, but not utterly implausible. For instance, I have a 30-day income doubling activation. And in talking to people that had tried that activation, I discovered the only thing really limiting them was a belief that it was not possible, that the amount was not possible. So in talking with them, I could get them to stretch to maybe increasing it by $10,000 or $20,000. When I know in my heart, if they could simply believe they could double their income, they could do it. The activation set the stage, created the energy for them to do it. But I had to create this episode to really address this so that you could become aware of it. How do you find that perfect target number? I've developed a method that has worked for thousands. I'm going to share it with you now. Number one, start with your current annual income. Let's say it's $60,000. 2, multiply that by 1.5. That gives you $90,000, a 50% increase, which is substantial but not impossible for most people to imagine. Now, it's okay to imagine double that income. I think it's important to put yourself in that mindset. But you can set the goal at 1.5. Now, third, ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how believable does it feel that I could earn this amount within the next 12 months? If your answer is below a 7, reduce the number slightly. If it's a 9 or 10, increase it. Now 4, fine-tune until you reach what is the believable stretch, where you feel a 7 or 8 on the believability scale. This creates the optimal tension between comfort and challenge. Now 5, once you have your number, break it down into monthly, weekly, and daily targets. This makes the goal more tangible and trackable. What makes this method so powerful is that it's personalized to your current belief system. I'm not trying to force your subconscious to make an impossible step, even though it can. I'm trying to expand your possibilities gradually but deliberately. Now let's do this together. I want you to take a moment and actually perform this exercise with me. Pause the video if you need to grab something to write with, because writing this down physically signals commitment to your subconscious. First, write down your current annual income. Next, multiply that by 1.5 to get your initial target. Now close your eyes and imagine this amount flowing to you over the next year. See the specific number in your bank account. Feel what it would be like to earn this amount. On a scale of 1 to 10, how believable does this feel? Be completely honest with yourself. If it's below 7, reduce it slightly until you reach that 7 to 8 range of believability. If it's a 9 or 10, try increasing it another 25% and check the believability again. The number you have arrived at is your optimal manifestation target. This is the amount that will create the perfect tension between your current reality and your desired future. Now break it down. Divide it by 12. That's your monthly target. Divide by 52, and that's your weekly target. Divide by 365, that's your daily target. These smaller numbers make the goal feel more achievable. Instead of focusing on manifesting a large annual sum, you can focus on attracting your daily number, which feels much more immediate and doable. Now, if you are in a job where you have a fixed income, and the only way that income will go up is if you get a raise, that could be affecting your believability. Can you receive this income from other sources? Is there some way that you can change your situation to get an increase in your income, or can you find a better job? Do you believe that you could qualify for a better job that would give you additional income? Now here's the beautiful part about this approach. The number you've identified isn't your final destination. It's your next milestone, which we will increase continually. My promise to you is if you continue to listen to me, then we will increase the amount that you can believe in. When I first did this exercise decades ago, my target was $120,000 annually to make $10,000 a month, which seemed enormous compared to the amount I was making. But within 10 months, I had reached it. Did I stop there? Of course not. Once $120,000 became my new reality, my belief ceiling naturally expanded. The number that once seemed like a stretch now felt normal. So I repeated the process, setting new targets, going up in amounts. This is how you continually expand your prosperity consciousness, by repeatedly pushing your belief ceiling upward through achieved milestones, not through unrealistic jumps that your subconscious rejects. Although listening to millionaire activations can help, because it starts to put you in the frame of mind where it becomes more believable. You can change your belief system by doing those activations and by utilizing affirmations if you do that properly. Think of it like strength training. You don't go from lifting 50 pounds to 500 pounds overnight. You gradually increase the weight as your muscles adapt and strengthen. Your belief system works the same way, and my activations are like steroids. Each time you hit your target, your subconscious registers, oh, this level of prosperity is possible for me, and that automatically raises your ceiling for what's possible next. This is why specificity matters so much. Each specific target you achieve reprograms your prosperity consciousness at a deeper level than any affirmation could. Real experiences change beliefs more powerfully than words ever will. So the specific number you've just identified isn't limiting you. It's liberating you from the prison of vague goals and setting you on a path of continuous expansion. But there's one critical piece missing. Many people still fail to achieve their goals even when they set a specific goal. Why? Because deep down they don't feel worthy of receiving that amount. And they haven't addressed their feelings of inadequacy around money. Now, we've identified your specific money target, a number that stretches your current beliefs but remains within the realm of possibility. But to fully manifest this amount, we need to address the deeper issue that keeps you financially limited, the feeling of inadequacy around money. These feelings of unworthiness don't appear from nowhere. They have specific origins in your life experience. Many of us absorbed messaging in childhood about our value in relation to money. Perhaps you heard phrases like, we can't afford that, or money doesn't grow on trees, or people like us don't have that kind of wealth. These seemingly innocent statements programmed your subconscious with beliefs about what's possible for you financially. Second, many cultural and religious teachings create complex relationships with wealth. The phrase, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich person to enter heaven, has created more prosperity blocks than perhaps any other single sentence in history. Many spiritual traditions inadvertently link virtue with poverty and wealth with moral corruption. Third, your own financial mistakes and setbacks have likely reinforced feelings of inadequacy. Each time you've struggled financially, your subconscious recorded this as evidence that you aren't capable of handling greater abundance. And finally, there's the prosperity comparison, seeing others with great wealth and unconsciously deciding that they have some special quality that you lack. Maybe they're smarter, more talented, better connected, or just luckier than you. This comparison creates a false division between people who can be wealthy and people who cannot. Understanding these root causes is powerful because it helps you see that your feelings of financial inadequacy aren't facts about your potential. They're simply acquired beliefs that can be transformed. So how do we transform these limiting beliefs? Through deliberate, conscious reframing. I want you to take a moment right now to identify your strongest limiting belief about money. It might be, I don't have what it takes to be wealthy. Making money requires struggle and sacrifice. Making money is complex. I don't understand money. Wealth is only for certain types of people. I don't have the education. I'm too old. I'm too young. If I have more, then others will have less. I'm not smart enough to handle large sums of money. Whatever it is, write this belief down. Putting it on paper removes some of its power over you and allows you to examine it objectively. Now ask yourself these 3 questions about this belief. Is this absolutely true, or is it an interpretation of my experiences? Where did I first learn or develop this belief? How has holding this belief served me or protected me in some way? This last question might surprise you, but every limiting belief serves a purpose. Often it's protection from disappointment or failure. Acknowledging this helps the belief with compassion rather than judgment. Now comes the transformation. For each limiting belief will create an expansive counterpart, not an unrealistic affirmation, but a new perspective that your mind can begin to accept. If your limiting belief is, I don't have what it takes to be wealthy, the expansive reframing might be, I'm developing the exact skills and mindset that create wealth, and I can learn anything I need to know. If your belief is making money requires struggle, the reframe could be, many paths to prosperity feel enjoyable and aligned with my natural talents. For wealth is only for certain types of people. Try, people from every background and circumstance have created financial abundance, including those with stories similar to mine. Do you see how these reframes aren't denying your current reality, but opening doorways to new possibilities? They create mental pathways that your subconscious can begin to explore rather than reject. Now let's shift to a perspective that many miss entirely in their relationship with money. Understanding money as energy rather than merely a physical currency or numbers in an account. Money, in its essence, is concentrated human energy. It represents time, attention, creativity, and value exchanged. When you receive money, you're not receiving paper or digital numbers. You're receiving the energy that others have invested in creating value. This energy perspective transforms how you relate to money completely. Instead of asking, am I worthy of this amount? You can ask, am I open to receiving this much energy in exchange for the value I create? The shift is profound because most people have less resistance to the idea of energy exchange than they do to getting rich. It bypasses many of the moral and ethical complications we've attached to wealth. Think of money as flowing like water or electricity. It naturally moves toward channels that are open to receiving it. Your feelings of inadequacy act as blockages in these channels. By seeing money as neutral energy seeking expression rather than as a measure of your worth, these blockages naturally begin to dissolve. The question becomes not whether you deserve abundance, but whether you're willing to be a clear channel for prosperity to flow through you and onto others. With this energy perspective in mind, let's create some practical affirmations that can help reprogram your relationship with the specific amount of money you've identified as your target. These are tailored to address the most common inadequacy feelings while remaining believable to your subconscious. Say it with me. I am increasingly comfortable receiving, and then put your specific amount as fair exchange for the value I create. Money flows to me through multiple channels, expected and unexpected. As my income grows, my capacity to manage and multiply it grows accordingly. I release the need to know exactly how this money will come to me. I simply prepare myself to receive it when it arrives. My growing prosperity benefits not just me, but everyone I connect with. Notice how these statements don't claim you already have the money, which your subconscious can reject as untrue in some cases. Instead, they focus on your expanding capacity to receive and manage prosperity. Statements that create forward momentum without triggering disbelief. I recommend selecting just 1 or 2 of these to resonate most strongly with you and repeat them daily. Finally, let's bring together with a powerful visualization practice that trains your subconscious to accept your specific money target as not just possible, but natural. Close your eyes if you're in a place where it's safe to do so. Now imagine yourself 6 months from now Having already achieved your specific financial target, see yourself checking your accounts and noting that the exact amount you've set as your goal is there. Notice how you feel in this future moment. Are you surprised, excited, perhaps even calm and confident, as if this level of prosperity feels natural to you now? Ask your future self, what decisions did you make to arrive here? What actions did you take? What opportunities did you say yes to? Listen for the wisdom your future self has to share. Now feel the sense of ease that comes with this level of prosperity. Notice that you're still essentially the same person, just with an expanded capacity to receive and circulate abundance. See yourself using this money in ways that bring you joy and create positive impact. This isn't about hoarding wealth, but allowing prosperity to flow through you. Now bring your awareness to your body in this visualization. Where do you feel this prosperity in your physical being? Whatever you notice, allow that physical sensation to intensify. This bodily sensation is critical. It anchors the experience of prosperity in your nervous system, making it more than just a mental concept. Finally, imagine this level of prosperity becoming your new normal. Not your ceiling, but your floor. From this foundation, you can continue to expand your prosperity consciousness even further. Now open your eyes, carrying the energy of this with you. I recommend practicing visualization for 3 minutes daily. What makes it so powerful is the combination of specificity, focusing on your exact target amount, and embodiment, feeling prosperity as a physical sensation rather than just an intellectual concept. This approach bypasses the critical faculty of your conscious mind and speaks directly to your subconscious, where your true prosperity ceiling is determined. We've covered a lot of ground in our journey today, and I want to make sure you take away the essential truths that can transform your financial reality. And I ask you again, how much money do you want? Now, we've explored this question in a variety of ways. First, we explored why vague money goals fail cosmically. The universe responds to precision, not generalities. When you say as much as possible, you're essentially asking for exactly what you have now. Second, we uncovered the cosmic law of reception, the principle that you can only receive what you believe you can receive. Your financial ceiling isn't determined by external circumstances, but by your internal belief system. Third, we discovered the power of specificity, finding that perfect target amount that stretches your current beliefs without breaking them. This believable stretch creates the optimal tension for manifestation. Finally, we addressed these deep feelings of inadequacy that block prosperity, transforming limiting beliefs and connecting with money as energy rather than material. This is not just theory. These principles have transformed thousands of lives, including my own. They work because they align with both universal laws and the way your subconscious mind operates. Now it's your turn to put this knowledge into action. If you haven't already done so, I want you to pause this video right now and write down your specific money target. That amount that creates a 7 or 8 on your believability scale. Not just in your head, but physically written down. Research shows that the simple act of writing down your goal increases your likelihood of achieving it by over 40%. There's something powerful about making the intangible tangible through writing. Then place this written amount somewhere you'll see it daily. On your bathroom mirror, as your phone background, or on your desk. This constant reminder helps reprogram your subconscious with your new financial set point. And remember, this number isn't your financial destination. It's simply your next milestone on an ever-expanding journey of abundance. Once you reach it, you set a new target, continually raising your prosperity levels. I'm deeply curious about your journey with this practice. In the comments below, share the insight that resonated most strongly with you today. Was it realizing where your money ceiling came from, understanding the power of specificity, or perhaps recognizing how feelings of inadequacy have been blocking your prosperity. Your shared insights not only strengthen your own commitment, but also help others in our community who might be facing similar challenges. Remember, prosperity consciousness expands through connection and shared wisdom. Let me leave you with the final thought. The question, how much money do you want, isn't really about money at all. It's about how much value you believe you can create, how much abundance you believe you can receive, and ultimately how expansive you allow your life to become. Money is simply the universe's way of keeping score of the value you create. When you clarify exactly what you want and remove the blocks to receiving it, you're not just changing your financial situation, you're declaring to the universe exactly how big you're willing to let your life become. Your specific number isn't just a financial target, it's a declaration of your worthiness to receive. And that is the most powerful manifestation tool of all. Until next time, I remind you that your prosperity is limited only by the boundaries of your belief. Expand those boundaries and watch your reality transform. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution.